Hello, you amazing people. It is Riley here with another video, and we are back with the sort of kind of turbo Miata. And today we are installing a MaxpeedingRods short shifter. Now, yes, they did send me out this short shifter, but I would have still bought it anyways. My car is in desperate need of new shifter bushings, and why not just install a whole new short shifter? MaxpeedingRods short shifter and pretty much all of their products are really good quality and a really good price. Unlike most eBay kits, this comes with absolutely everything you need, from all the hardware to the short shifter itself with all the bushings, and literally everything else. I'm also running MaxpeedingRods GT2871 Turbo on the car, well, once it's done, and that's what I'm going to be running. So I can honestly say MaxpeedingRods products are really good. A lot of people hate on them, and they used to have a really bad rep, but past couple years they've really gotten their stuff together, and they're making some really good products. So let's go ahead and start tearing apart the interior and getting it in. Before we actually go and install the new shifter, I'm kind of curious of what the throw difference is. So the throw honestly should be all the way out there, but with the bad shifter bushings it puts it to there, so like it's somewhere in between there, but we're just going to go from this point. So if we start here and then go from third to fourth, it's about a 5-inch throw. But if we're accounting for the bad bushings, that's about a 7-inch throw. So they're pretty bad. There's a pretty big difference in between them. So I'm kind of curious what the new shifter is going to look like throw-wise and slop-wise. So normally you would have a center console, but yeah, I don't have one of those. So we're just going to take off our little plate for our shifter. Okay, so now that we have that all off, this should just come straight off. Okay, and under that we have our trans boot. Now this is normally just attached to the trans tunnel with those 4 bolts that we actually took out, but with the center console delete, instead of just having this boot, I made a ring, put the shift boot over that, and that all attaches to this. So this can be pretty hard to get off sometimes, so you kind of just got to put a little bit of lubricant on it and pull as hard as you can. Okay, so I found getting under the ring with a pair of vice grips helps a lot, and now this will just come straight out, and we expose our shifter. Okay, we're going to whip out our 10mm again and break these 3 bolts loose. Okay, now the whole thing will just come straight out. There's going to be a little bit of trans fluid, so you'll want to be ready. I know this is a perfect time to change your transmission fluid, but I'm already doing that in a few days anyways. And I just figured out why my shifter's so sloppy. Yeah, that was my bushing. There is no bushing left. That's another part of it. Yeah, this thing's shot to say the least. We're gonna have to dig the rest of that out. And now make sure you have a rag or something, because this stuff is nasty. And now for this bushing, you probably do want a screwdriver for it. Just get under it and wiggle it out. Okay, so now that you have that out, we can make sure we get all the rest of the bushing out. Okay, so now that we have everything out, we're going to start putting everything in. So we're going to start off by this little collar right here, which is going to replace that bushing down there. We're going to just slide that over that little pin. And now we're going to take this new bushing with this metal lock ring on the bottom, and we're going to push them together, and then we're going to put that over that. Now you can actually put your shifter in, make sure the bushing is clean, and then we can drop that straight in. Then we're going to drop this straight over. Now you can see there's a little bit of a gap between there, and what we're going to do is we're going to take an Allen key and we're going to adjust that out a couple turns. Again, we're just going to take our Allen keys, figure out what size this is, then we're simply just going to loosen this up a couple turns. And now we're going to go ahead and test it again. We still need that to come out a couple more turns. Okay, now that we have that adjusted perfectly, we're going to take this ring, put that over that, get our bolt, put a crush washer, a normal washer, and just to be safe, I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on it. And now we just put that in the hole, and do that 3 more times. And now we simply just tighten the whole thing down. Now we're going to snug one side down, move on to the next area. Snug that on, move to the next area. And now we can actually tighten these all. They really don't have to be that tight, but we're just going to snug them up a little bit, make sure they're not going to back out, but make sure they're not going to snap. Okay, so now we got everything together, and it feels really good. I'm going to go ahead and chuck back on the shift boot. And now we're going to put a little bit of anti-seize in here to make sure this does not get stuck on here again, because that always sucks. And make sure you have a rag when you're working with anti-seize. You know this stuff gets everywhere, if you've ever used it before. Okay, so now this will just simply slide over, and of course get anti-seize everywhere. Oh, and that just slides on beautifully. Now we can actually put our shift boot back over, line up all these holes, and start screwing them in. Okay, so now we can actually put our shift knob back on, and then this install will pretty much be done. And that feels so good. That's gonna feel awesome banging through the gears at the track, making sure I'm hitting every gear perfectly. And now that feels absolutely amazing, but let's see what our shift throw is. So if we go from third gear and push it all the way forward, let's see what our play is. We have about 1/8 of movement, which compared to our 1 inch of movement before is a huge improvement. Then all the way forward and third to all the way back and fourth is about 4.5 inches, which before it was about 7 inches. So the shifter really tightened up a lot, and I am beyond happy with how it feels. It's going to be so nice just rolling through these gears at track. And now I'm no longer going to be missing second gear going from third to second. Now it's been a few months ever since I installed the MaxpeedingRods short shifter, and guess what? It still feels amazing. Still very little play, and all around a really good short shifter, especially for the price. Now if you want it even better and even notchier, I would get a 5X Racing bushing. They're brass bushings to replace the plastic ones to last a little bit longer, and they're only like 60 bucks. If that, they may only be like 30. But if you guys have learned anything from this video, or just purely enjoyed it, like, follow, subscribe, all that, it would mean the absolute world to me, and I hope you guys have a great day. See you guys next time. Peace out.